is my pleasure to introduce Margaret Bean, Student Council Co-President. In the fall, Margaret will be attending the University College Dublin in Dublin, Ireland, and will study law with social justice. Please welcome Margaret to the stage.
Hello, family, friends, and staff. My name is Maggie Bean, and I'm giving you this speech representing half of this year's co-student body presidents. So I'd first like to acknowledge the person who has not only been my partner this year, but also my partner since we were 6 years old and we were the only girls in our GT math class, Alyssa Landry. I'd also like to thank the administration for being so flexible, but also for approving a dance this year. And I'd also like to thank the student council advisors, Ms. Otten, Ms. Johnson, and Mr. Grover, and my fellow student council officers for being so supportive in the scramble to then pull off said dance. High school can be an extremely important time for trying new things, experimenting with all facets of life, and maybe even finding what you're passionate about. Whether that be robotics, the arts, diplomacy, athletics, or anything in between, luckily BHS has it all. For me, a big focus of my last 4 years was on my academics. I always loved school, but as I grew older, this love manifested itself into this internal pressure for perfection. A grade on a test could determine my mood for the week, as if that number was a reflection of my value as a person. Unfortunately, this mindset is something we've all experienced before. In the whispers of self-deprecation as we open our report card, or maybe it was when we didn't make the varsity roster, despite staying late every night after practice. Or it's when we rehearsed our audition song 30 times, but didn't get the lead role in the musical. The panic that would set in, triggering the internal dialogue that despite doing all we could, we must not have worked hard enough. Or maybe it was because we weren't smart enough, or because we weren't talented enough, or as a person just weren't enough. This ideology, however, is rooted in falsehoods. GPAs, for example, fail to calculate a lot of arguably more important things. It doesn't include the time you spend volunteering or the time you maybe did something that made someone smile. It doesn't count the number of high fives or the number of hugs you gave. It doesn't show the hours we spent together tirelessly making cake pops or practicing the steps to Footloose during our class dance freshman year. It doesn't include the 600 tiny babies we hid around the school or persevering through South Street traffic in order to have our senior parade. This is because our GPA and any other accolades we may or may not have received do not equate to our worth. You are not your class rank. You are not where or if you are going to college next year. You are not the role you had in a musical or whether you played on varsity or JV. You are not a number on a scale or the number of likes on an Instagram post. The moment you try to somehow equate your value or anyone else's to some arbitrary failure or success is the moment you ignore the complexity of being human. You are not only one thing, you are a whole, entire, living, breathing person. So, my beloved class of 2019, as you move on to the next chapter of your life, I don't hope that one of you becomes president or a CEO or a multimillionaire. While I do believe each of you is capable of all of those things, I don't think they are the most important part of your future story. Instead, I hope that you remember to hold the door open, to say thank you and I'm sorry when warranted. I hope you are kind-hearted and spend time filled with loved ones, filled with laughter. I hope you use your blinker when changing lanes and get to pet lots of dogs. I hope you remain gentle with yourself and with others. Remember that everyone is simply trying their best given the circumstances that they are in. And most importantly, I hope that you know, no matter the circumstances, you are always and unconditionally enough. Thank you.
Oh, my girl!